So next speaker is Stefania Della Penna, and she will tell us something about the effects of task on the spectral and temporal dynamics of centrality at rest.
Thanks for coming. Okay, I will talk about which is the information carried out by the analysis of spectral and temporal dynamics of integration, comparing these dynamics during rest and task and post-task. I will skip an introduction on hubs because Francesco already talked about them. But I want to frame the issue of this talk, relating it to the functional significance of resting state connectivity and architecture. We already heard during this conference that a possible hypothesis is the prior hypothesis, according to which the resting state connections and architecture represent priors of task networks, and this has been drawn out from functional MRI studies comparing patterns and architecture during rest and during task. However, more recently, an alternate hypothesis has been introduced, and this has been obtained from functional MRI and MEG studies. For example, our group compared the value of correlation between fixation and movie watching, and we obtain a complete reorganization of the functional connectivity in specific bands, and we thus introduced the hypothesis of idling, a idling mechanism according to which resting state circuits represents a idle system that are suppressed to facilitate task-specific synchronization. Now, one question coming out is that as we obtained that this reorganization was not the same across oscillatory bands, but was specific mainly for the alpha and beta band, but we had different patterns of reorganization in other bands. Our main questions are, first of all, if life is all black or white. It's not like this, it's a kind of mixture, it will be a gray. So we expect that different oscillation frequencies and different temporal scales might support different prior and idling mechanisms. And also another question we want to address is whether these maintenance or modulation are task specific, which means that if we are carrying out a task, we might obtain maintenance for some specific connection which might be reorganized for another task. To do so, we used exploited the temporal resolution of magnetoencephalography, and we compared hardness during rest and during task, but specifically we analyzed the dynamics of centrality. The task we selected was an audiovisual simulation, and using MEG, our subjects were provided with a block of fixation and a block of naturalistic viewing, which was a movie, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and then another block of the same movie blocks scrambled. We focused on the alpha band and of the beta band, and we estimated band limited power, and we focused on these bands because the highest reorganization was obtained in the alpha band in our previous study, and we listened about the dynamic core network by Francesco, which was mainly found in the beta band. We used a connectome made of 45 nodes, including 7 functional fMRI resting state networks. We obtained leakage corrected by limited correlation matrices. We transformed them into binary graphs, and we estimated time courses of between centrality. First of all, we compared the value of correlation, and we again obtained modulations in the alpha-beta band. But when we focused on the topology, overall topology of connections, using network-based statistics, we obtained that while in the alpha band complete reorganization occurred when comparing movie towards fixation, but also scramble vision towards fixation, and this reorganization mainly involved across networks links. In the beta band, we did not obtain any significant changes when comparing movie watching with rest. But we obtained a reorganization when comparing the unusual scramble vision with rest. We then identified a core network of hubs, which were, for us, hubs consistently central across conditions. And the set of hubs was really similar between the alpha and beta band, and so the first take-home message here is that we have hubs which are consistently central across tasks. We then analyzed the time curves of between centrality, which was at very slow time scales, and we binarized this between centrality, looking for epochs of high centrality, and then we analyzed the joint dynamics of the hubs included in the core network, which means that we are focusing on the binary sequence of centrality of one hub. We look at for epochs when the other hubs were the dynamics of other hubs was predicted by the dynamics of the first hub. So, using a parameter from the Banach classifiers, we obtain matrices of joint dynamics of hubs in the core network. These matrices represent these joint dynamics, so it's a pairwise joint dynamics, and we can see that we have indeed a joint dynamics, significant joint dynamics, which will be significant above 1, which is the chance level. But this pattern in the alpha band is completely reorganized when moving from fixation to movie, and is completely reorganized when moving from fixation to scramble vision. So we have a deeply reorganization of the centrality dynamics in the alpha band, whereas in the beta band, when comparing the pattern of joint dynamics during fixation with the one of movie vision, we have that despite the joint parameter was decreased, this pattern was resembling the one obtained during fixation. So this dynamics was maintained during movie watching, while this dynamics was reorganized during scramble vision. So the first summary is that, first of all, if we want to address the question of the idling mechanism or the prior mechanism, we can assess that while in the alpha band we had a complete reorganization of the topology of the end of the hub dynamics, in the beta band we had a prior mechanism for what concerns the topology and the hub dynamics, but this applies only for usual stimuli like natural vision, but not for the scramble vision. So, in summary, we say that in the beta band, the dynamics of centrality might be associated to the upkeeping of prior expectation about the natural environment. So this is a first answer to our main questions. In order to further address these questions, I'm going to present you some preliminary results we have on the analysis of centrality before task and after task. We base this research on the assumption that after task, fMRI literature, but also MEG literature, is suggesting that the effect of task might consist into a reorganization and the sculpting of the intrinsic connectivity. Specifically, for example, after a motor task, an increase of connectivity with the primary motor cortex was obtained by functional MRI. So our questions is, first of all, whether these changes, so these sculpting mechanisms, are frequency specific, and if these modulations are mainly related to networks which are involved in the specific task, on top of course, a stable backbone of integration. So we have always this core network which is resilient. To do so, we analyzed a group of subjects and we analyzed the ongoing connectivity and architecture before a block of finger tapping and after a block of finger tapping. Of course, I'm only always presenting MEG results, and we used the dense connectome for MEG, and we analyzed the alpha-beta bands since these form the mu rhythm which is associated to the somatomotor cortex. We obtain, as always, leakage-corrected band-limited power correlation matrices, and we added the theta band correlation as a control. First of all, if we focus on the value of correlation, we obtain a modulation for all the bands. These are significant modulations obtained on pairwise correlation and then averaged across networks, and we can see that these modulations are obtained in all the bands. But when we inspected the changes of topology, we obtained interesting patterns. First of all, we obtained an increase of correlation post-task, a reorganization of topology involving mainly a component comprising nodes in the somatomotor network, together with a concomitant decrease component involving mainly nodes in the frontal part of the default-mode network. Similar patterns are obtained also for the alpha band, but when inspecting the theta band, we did not obtain decrease involving any of the nodes, and only a small component involving, again, the somatomotor network. But then we moved to integration, and so we inspected hubs. And these hubs, we obtained some hubs during, this is the pre-task intrinsic topography of hubs. And we obtained, when comparing the post-task hubs, a set of hubs which were maintained, so they formed the core network, and these hubs mainly involved the left posterior singular cortex and some frontal nodes for the default-mode network, together with networks, together with hubs in the supplementary motor cortex, which is comprised into the somatomotor network, and in the anterior cingulate, this in the alpha and beta band. But when comparing this hub topography with the post-task hub topography, we obtain a decrease together with the vanishing of centrality in the frontal, for the frontal hubs in the default-mode network. Here we can see in red the vanishing hubs, together with new hubs formed in the somatomotor network. Here in blue, light blue, we can see the new hubs, mainly with a strong centrality for the right superior paraterral lobule precuneus, similar in the alpha band. Whereas in the theta band, we only had a small set of hubs, maintained hubs, but very small reorganization. So to wrap up, in the alpha-beta bands, which are formed forming the new rhythm in the somatomotor cortex, which is involved in the task, we obtain a set of task invariant hubs, so a stable backbone of integration, together with a modulation of centrality, with the appearance of new hubs and the disappearance of other hubs. Of note, after the motor task, this new hub, the right SPL precune, becomes highly central, and this nicely relates with the function associated to this node, which are related to action processes, visually gathered visomotor functions, and control of movement. Together with this increase, we have also decrease in the frontal cingulate part of the full moon network, and this is compatible with a balance between centrality in the motor cortex and the decrease of centrality in the full moon network obtained by Bassett during learning. And so we interpret this modulation on top of centrality as a maintenance of a stable backbone together with a short-term plastic mechanism to sculpt the brain state. So to wrap up, with MEG we see that both prior and idling mechanisms coexist at the level of different properties of networks, but they are associated to different oscillatory bands and to different tasks. The idling mechanism could be associated with the temporal sculpting process involving oscillatory bands modulated by the task. These are our preliminary results by now, and I want to thank all the people involved in these two researches. Thank you for your attention.